All right, so I'm going to show you guys how to use this grid for your motif portrait project and helping you get it set up and everything to scale. Similar to what we did with our monochromatic, except for you guys are going to be doing the grid part on your own. So the first thing you need to do is you need to insert an image. So you should have already downloaded an image onto either your Google Drive or onto your downloads on your Chromebook. So I want to upload an image from my computer, or if it's from your drive, you would select it from your drive. Mine's in my downloads, so mine's in my computer. And then I'm going to find my download image, and here is my portrait image that I selected. And then I'm going to open my image and notice how it's bigger than I want it to be. So my thing that I need to do is I need to size it to fit my grid here. And notice how it's taller than it needs to be. So the first thing I need to do is I need to get it to be the exact same size as my actual grid. So if you double click it, you'll notice that it has these black bars around the corner. So I'm going to adjust that, and that's my cropping tool. And notice how I didn't resize my image at all. That is step number 2, is resizing my image. Okay, and then sliding, so I'm just using my arrow keys and sliding down my portrait, and then enter, and then it cropped off a bit of it. Notice how I can't see any of the grid lines anymore. I need to get this behind. So what I'm going to do is I'm hitting the Control key, the Shift key, and then the down arrow. And that puts it behind everything else on my screen. So I'm going to do that one more time. So it's Control, Shift, and the down arrow. And that brings everything towards the back. Okay. We're going to do the same thing on the next page. And we're going to be inserting our second image. And this image is going to be your actual motif. So it is your decorative background. And I already picked my decorative background for mine. And once again, it's not quite the right size. So I am going to make it smaller so I can kind of see how big I need it to be. Double click, get it so it's sized to be perfectly the same size as your background. Now I'm having issues with that. So okay, I'm going to play around with it a little bit more. Mess around here, double click. A lot of times if you see the red lines, it means that it lined up with something. Like I have my red line there, it lined up on the bottom edge. So you just need, if you need to zoom in, that also is helpful as well. Trying to get you to make sure that everything is just the right size. And that's this icon right here. You just click the zoom and you click where you want to zoom in on, and then you can see what happened. And if you click it again, it'll zoom in even closer. So if you don't want it to be zoomed in anymore, you just hit unzoom. Click that button, you're good. And then I'm going to resize this. So making sure I'm dragging the blue squares versus the black squares. Okay. And then I'm going to do Control Shift down. And notice how I can't see my grid lines very well. So I'm going to adjust my lines a little bit. So I'm going to do. Actually, if I go a little bit, let's zoom this in a little bit because it's kind of hard to see it. See, it's hard to see my lines. That's a problem. So something that I'm going to need to do is I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to select all of these lines, and I'm going to change the color of these lines. So we want them all to be black for this one. And this will help me be able to see my lines a lot better once I put it in the background. So depending on how dark your image is, you may need it. There we go, that's a little bit better. So a little bit of troubleshooting for you. So now if I take my zoom, you can notice I can see that a whole bunch more better, especially if I'm going to be using my computer screen to help me see this on mine. So I can see my grid lines just fine on my portrait image. So that is how you use this grid on the Google Slides to help you out. You all should be getting a copy of this on Google Classroom. If you need help, feel free to connect with me to get assistance. Thank you.